Welcome to the Third Eye Vision Spiritual Beings. I am a star seed light worker from the Galactic Federation. I greet you with love and positive energy. What is war? A war is typically fought by a country or group of countries against an opposing country or group, with the aim of achieving an objective through the use of force. Wars can also be fought within a country in the form of a civil or revolutionary war. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, war is defined as 1. A state of armed conflict between different countries or different groups within a country. 2. A state of competition or hostility between different people or groups. 3. A sustained campaign against an undesirable situation or activity. Wars have been a part of human history for thousands of years, and have become increasingly destructive as industrialization and technology have advanced. What is the cause of conflict? There is rarely one single, clear cause of conflict, and ultimately, war. The causes of a war are usually numerous, and can often be intertwined in a complicated way. 8 main causes of war. 1. Economic gain. Often wars are caused by one country's wish to take control of another country's wealth. Whatever the other reasons for a war may be, there is very often an economic motive underlying most conflicts, even if the stated aim of the war is presented to the public as something more noble. In pre-industrial times, the gains desired by a warring country might be precious materials such as gold and silver, or livestock such as cattle and horses. In modern times, the resources that are hoped to be gained from war take the form of things like oil, minerals, or materials used in manufacturing. Some scientists believe that as the world's population increases and basic resources become scarce, wars will be fought more often over fundamental essentials, such as water and food. Historical examples of wars fought for economic gain. Anglo-Indian Wars, 1766-1849. The Anglo-Indian Wars were a series of wars fought between the British East India Company and different Indian states. These wars led to the establishment of British colonial rule in India, which gave Britain unrestricted access to exotic and valuable resources native to the Indian continent. Finnish-Soviet War, or the Winter War, 1939-1940. Stalin and his Soviet army wanted to mine nickel in Finland, but when the Finnish refused, the Soviet Union waged war on the country. 2. Territorial gain. A country might decide that it needs more land, either for living space, agricultural use, or other purposes. Territory can also be used as buffer zones between two hostile enemies. Related to buffer zones are proxy wars. These are conflicts that are fought indirectly between opposing powers in a third country. Each power supports the side which best suits their logistical, military, and economic interests. Proxy wars were particularly common during the Cold War. Historical examples of wars fought for territorial gain. Mexican-American War, 1846-1848. This war was fought following the annexation of Texas, with Mexico still claiming the land as their own. The U.S. outfought the Mexicans, retaining Texas and incorporating it as a state. Serbo-Bulgarian War, 1885-1886. Bulgaria and Serbia fought over a small border town after the river creating the border between the countries moved. Arab-Israeli War, or Six-Day War, 1967-1988. Israeli forces took the territories of the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, from Jordan. 3. Religion. Religious conflicts often have very deep roots. They can lie dormant for decades, only to re-emerge in a flash at a later date. Religious wars can often be tied to other reasons for conflict, such as nationalism or revenge for a perceived historical slight in the past. While different religions fighting against each other can be a cause of war, different sects within a religion, for example, Protestant and Catholic, or Sunni and Shiite battling against one another, can also instigate war. Historical examples of wars fought for religion. The Crusades 1095–1291. The Crusades were a series of wars sanctioned by the Latin Church during the medieval age. The aim of crusaders was to expel Islam and spread Christianity. 30 Years' War 1618–1648, when Holy Roman Emperor Ferdinand II tried to impose Roman Catholicism on the people of his domains, a faction of Protestants from the north banded together, sparking war. Lebanese Civil War 1975–1990. The Lebanese Civil War was primarily sparked from conflicts between the Sunni Muslim, Shiite Muslim, and Christian Lebanese populations. Yugoslav Wars 1999–1995. The Yugoslav Wars consisted of the Croatian War and the Bosnian War. The wars were fought between the Orthodox Catholic and Muslim populations of former Yugoslavia. Second Sudanese Civil War 1983–2005. This ethno-religious war was caused by the Muslim central government choice to impose Sharia law on non-Muslim Southerners. 4. Nationalism in this context essentially means attempting to prove that your country is superior to another by violent subjugation. This often takes the form of an invasion. Related to nationalism is imperialism, which is built on the idea that conquering other countries is glorious and brings honor and esteem to the conqueror. Racism can also be linked to nationalism, as can be seen in Hitler's Germany. Adolf Hitler went to war with Russia partly because the Russians and Eastern Europeans in general were seen as Slavs, or a group of people who the Nazis believed to be an inferior race. Historical examples of wars fought for nationalist. Khmer War 1550–1590. The Chichimeca War was one of many wars fought during the Spanish conquest of the Aztec civilization in modern-day Mexico. World War I. Extreme loyalty and patriotism caused many countries to become involved in the First World War. Many pre-war Europeans believed in the cultural, economic, and military supremacy of their nation. 5. Revenge. Seeking to punish, redress a grievance, or simply strike back for a perceived slight can often be a factor in the waging of war. Revenge also relates to nationalism, as the people of a country which has been wronged are motivated to fight back by pride and spirit. Unfortunately, this can lead to an endless chain of retaliatory wars being set in motion, which is very difficult to stop. Historically, revenge has been a factor in many European wars. Historical examples of wars fought for revenge. World War II 1939–1945, the rise of the Nazi Socialist Party, and Germany's eventual domination of the European continent were direct results of the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed strict punishments on Germany. War on Terror. The September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center in 2001 prompted President George W. Bush to initiate a war on terrorists. This global war began with an invasion of Iraq and is ongoing. 6. Civil warties generally take place when there is sharp internal disagreement within a country. The disagreement can be about who rules, how the country should be run, or the people's rights. These internal rifts often turn into chasms that result in violent conflict between two or more opposing groups. Civil wars can also be sparked by separatist groups who want to form their own independent country, or, as in the case of the American Civil War, states wanting to secede from a larger union. Historical examples of civil wars. American Civil War 1861–1865. The American Civil War was fought by the Union Army and the Confederate Army as a result of the long-standing controversy over slavery. Russian Civil War 1917–1923. The Russian Civil War followed immediately after the Russian Revolution, with the Red Army and the White Army vying to determine Russia's political future. Spanish Civil War 1936–1939. The Spanish Civil War was fought between the Republicans, who were loyal to the left-leaning Second Spanish Republic, and the Nationalists, a largely aristocratic conservative group led by General Francisco Franco. Korean War 1950–1953. The Korean War was a war fought between North Korea, which was supported by China, and South Korea, which was supported primarily by the United States. 7. Revolutionary Warties occur when a large section of the population of a country revolts against the individual or group that rules the country because they are dissatisfied with their leadership. Revolutions can begin for a variety of reasons, including economic hardship amongst certain sections of the population or perceived injustices committed by the ruling group. Other factors can contribute too, such as unpopular wars with other countries. Revolutionary wars can easily descend into civil wars. Historical examples of Revolutionary Wars: Restoration War 1640-1668. The Portuguese Revolution ended the 60-year rule of Portugal by Spain. American Revolution 1775-1783. The American Revolution gave the 13 North American colonies independence from British rule and established the United States of America. French Revolution 1789-1799. The French Revolution was a battle that represented the rise of the bourgeoisie and the downfall of the aristocracy in France. Haitian Revolution 1791-1804. The Haitian Revolution was a successful slave rebellion that established Haiti as the first free black republic. 8. Defensive war. In the modern world, where military aggression is more widely questioned, countries will often argue that they are fighting in a purely defensive capacity against an aggressor or potential aggressor, and that their war is therefore a just war. These defensive wars can be especially controversial when they are launched preemptively, the argument essentially being that we are attacking them before they inevitably attack us. Historical examples of defensive wars. Iraqi conflict 2003 present an international coalition, led by the U.S., invaded Iraq on the grounds that the country's leader, Saddam Hussein, was developing weapons of mass destruction, and therefore presented a threat to surrounding countries and rest of the world. The war was controversial as the allegations made about the weapons of mass destruction made by the US and UK were shown to lack substance. Questions and answers. Question: what causes war? Answer: there is a multitude of causes of war, and they can only be learned through an extensive study of human history. Usually, but not always, it starts with a dispute between countries or groups within a country, which subsequently becomes violent. Question: why do some people believe that war is a good thing? Answer: in the modern age, people rarely think that war is good, but often, they can see it as necessary. Examples of a necessary war might be defending your country against foreign invasion, or fighting a revolution against an unjust government. Question: who started war? Answer: nobody knows for sure. What we do know is that the first recorded war was between Sumer and Elam in Mesopotamia in 2700 BC. The Sumerians won, it is recorded, and they carried away as spoils the weapons of Elam. However, archaeology suggests that warfare was taking place much earlier in the Mesopotamia or Egypt area, quite possibly as early as 10,000 BC. Question: can violence ever solve conflicts? Answer: it really depends what you mean by solve. What is true is that periods of violent conflict can be followed by extended periods of peace. If the source of a conflict doesn't go away, however, there is every possibility that the conflict will erupt again, violently or otherwise. As human technology has advanced and warfare has become increasingly destructive, there has been an increased urgency to resolve conflicts non-violently. Question: what were the causes of the Napoleonic Wars? Answer: the roots of the Napoleonic Wars lie in the French Revolution. Napoleon seized power from the revolutionary government and attempted to stabilize a country that had suffered from years of chaos and excess. There were also numerous conflicts associated with the revolution, and in an attempt to resolve these, Napoleon ended up fighting the other major European powers, especially the United Kingdom. It's difficult to know exactly what Napoleon's original intentions were, but eventually, the wars became a struggle to be the dominant power in Europe. Question: is the purpose of all wars peace? Answer: wars have numerous different purposes. Certain types of war, for example, a defensive war, might be fought with the desired outcome being peace. However, most wars are fought with the intention of beating the enemy and effectively imposing peace on the victor's terms. Question: why do wars need armies? Answer: although wars are typically fought between two or more armies, that is not always the case. There are many historical examples of irregular fighters engaging in combat. In a revolutionary war, for instance, many combatants might not be part of an army, especially in the early stages. Partisan and guerrilla forces can engage in warfare too, without necessarily belonging to a regular army. As technologies advance, wars can be fought increasingly with automated weaponry, such as drones and missiles, with less and less need for a traditional army. Cyber warfare is also on the rise. So if you enjoy this content as much as I enjoy sharing, please like, subscribe, share, and also leave me a comment. It not only helps with the YouTube algorithm, but also spread love and positive energy across the earth. Go with love. Let love guide you, not fear.